Immortal Jellyfish. Imagine dying, then quietly turning back into youth as if time itself had made a mistake. The immortal jellyfish, a tiny hydrozoan drifting through warm oceans, stands apart because adulthood is not necessarily its final stage. Instead of moving toward one fixed lifespan, it can, under stress or injury, reset its body and return to a juvenile form. Its cells essentially reassign themselves, transforming mature tissue into new growth and allowing the same individual to escape the usual one-way path of aging. That means a creature smaller than a fingernail can, at least in theory, outlast ships, cities, and generations of human lives. Predators, disease, and accidents still end most of them, but almost no other animal makes biological time feel this strangely reversible. Its real superpower is not strength or speed, but the eerie ability to step backward while the rest of life only moves on. Greenland Shark. Some Greenland sharks alive right now may have already been swimming when Shakespeare was still writing plays. This huge Arctic shark moves through the freezing North Atlantic, and it stands out as the longest-lived vertebrate scientists have ever found. Researchers estimate that the oldest individuals can survive for centuries, with some likely reaching around 400 years. That astonishing lifespan appears to come from extreme cold, a painfully slow metabolism, delayed growth, and a life spent in deep, stable darkness. When one of these sharks was young, muskets were common, empires were expanding, and entire modern countries had not yet taken shape. Even more incredible, it may not reach sexual maturity until around 150 years old, making adulthood feel ancient by human standards. Most predators dominate with force, but the Greenland shark endures through time so vast it makes our own history feel almost brief. If this kind of animal mystery is your thing, you'll probably like what we do here, so feel free to subscribe and stay for the next one. Aldabra giant tortoise. Some Aldabra giant tortoises alive today were already old when photographs still looked like ghosts on metal plates. These massive island tortoises come from the Aldabra atoll in the Indian Ocean, and they are among the longest-lived land animals on Earth. A lifespan beyond 150 years is not unusual here, and exceptional individuals can push close to 2 centuries. Their secret is a life paced almost unbelievably slowly, with low energy use, steady growth, and a body built for patience rather than urgency. That means one tortoise can outlive entire family lines, watching the world move from sailboats to satellites without ever leaving its island rhythm. Jonathan, the most famous example, was likely born before the American Civil War and is still grazing in the sunlight now. Most creatures race against time, but this tortoise seems to wear it down one quiet step at a time. Bowhead Whale. Some bowhead whales swimming beneath Arctic ice today may have been alive before the first electric light bulbs ever glowed. This enormous whale lives in the frigid waters of the Arctic and stands out as one of the longest-lived mammals on the planet. Scientists estimate that bowheads can live well over 2 centuries, turning one lifespan into something that feels closer to an era. Part of that endurance comes from life in freezing seas, slow aging, heavy insulation, and cellular repair systems that seem unusually robust. A single bowhead could have begun life when wooden whaling ships still ruled the North, then survived into the age of jet travel and digital maps. That would already be staggering, yet some individuals have even been found carrying evidence of encounters with hunters from generations ago. Its body is colossal, but its strangest power may be this: it can keep moving through centuries beneath the same ancient ice. Olm. An olm can spend so long in darkness that a human lifetime may pass like a brief interruption above its cave. This pale cave-dwelling salamander lives in the underground waters of southeastern Europe, and it is famous for aging at an almost unreal pace. Scientists believe it can survive for many decades, possibly approaching a century, which is extraordinary for such a small amphibian. Its world barely changes, and that stable, cold, low-energy environment seems to have shaped a creature that grows slowly, reproduces rarely, and wastes almost nothing. Most animals burn through life quickly, but the olm moves so gently through time that generations of people can vanish without touching its hidden world. Even more eerie, it can go for years without food, as if its entire biology were designed to wait rather than rush. It does not just live long, it feels like a survivor from a clock that barely ticks at all. Ocean Quahog Clam. When the oldest known ocean quahog was born, Leonardo da Vinci had not even painted the Mona Lisa yet. This blunt little North Atlantic clam, buried quietly in cold seafloor sediment, holds the record for the oldest known non-colonial animal ever found. One famous specimen, nicknamed Ming, was aged at 507 years, which turns a shell into something like a living calendar. Its longevity seems tied to an extraordinarily slow metabolism, unusual tolerance for low oxygen, and a style of life so uneventful it almost feels suspended. That means this clam could have been filtering seawater before Columbus reached the Americas and still been alive deep into the 21st century. Even stranger, animals like this show signs of negligible senescence, aging so slowly that the usual slide into decline barely seems to apply. Most lives flash and disappear, but the ocean quahog endures like a quiet monument sunk into time itself. American lobster. A very old American lobster may have begun life around the same era your great-grandparents were being born. This heavy-clawed crustacean lives along the North Atlantic coast, and scientists believe some individuals can approach a century of life. That would be remarkable for any animal, but especially for one most people think of as dinner rather than endurance. Part of its staying power comes from slow growth, cold water, and a life built around molting, where the body keeps renewing itself by shedding old armor. If a lobster really reaches that upper limit, it can outlive multiple human generations while the coastline above it changes harbors, roads, and skylines. What makes the story even stranger is that its exact age is hard to prove, because every molt erases one more visible trace of time. It is a creature that seems to grow old by refusing to wear its years for long. Hydra. Under stable conditions, a hydra may keep going so long that the idea of a normal lifespan almost stops making sense. Hydra are tiny freshwater cnidarian polyps, and they stand out because some species show negligible senescence instead of ordinary aging. In laboratory studies, they do not appear to follow a fixed countdown toward old age the way most animals do. Their bodies are packed with stem cells that continuously renew tissues, repair damage, and let the animal regenerate with astonishing ease. Most creatures spend life losing ground to time, but a hydra can seem almost untouched by it, as though wear and tear never fully accumulates. That does not make it invincible in the wild, yet as a biological idea, it is one of the strangest challenges to what aging is supposed to be. Its body is simple, almost fragile, and still it whispers one of nature's boldest claims. Decline may not be inevitable, and if this kind of wonder is your thing, you can always leave a like or subscribe, and I'll keep bringing you more of it. Deep-sea glass sponge. Some deep-sea glass sponges may have begun their lives when human civilization was still learning how to settle, farm, and stay put. These bizarre sponges live anchored in the deep ocean, and certain Monorhaphis chuni specimens have been estimated at around 11,000 years old. That is not just older than empires or religions in their present forms. It reaches back toward the end of the last ice age. Their immense longevity seems to come from an ultra-stable deep-sea environment, painfully slow growth, and silica skeletons that build layer by layer over millennia. A single sponge can outlast every written language, every kingdom, and almost every structure human beings have ever raised above the ground. Even more astonishing, its skeleton preserves clues to ancient ocean temperatures, turning one animal into a record of vanished climates. It does not merely survive through time, it stores time inside itself.